The movie starts in 1985 during a game called 7 Minutes in Heaven. Two players are chosen by a spinning bottle to spend 7 minutes in a dark closet where they can do whatever they want. Best friends Charlie and Stuart discuss what they will do if chosen. The bottle picks Stuart and Jennifer. Jennifer doesn't like Stuart, but promises to tell others they did something if he stays in the corner. The next spin picks Charlie, who hopes to be paired with his crush, but gets Anisha, a goth girl, instead. In the closet, Anisha kisses Charlie and confesses she has liked him since 3rd grade. Charlie doesn't feel the same and asks her to stop, calling her a freak. After leaving the closet, Charlie tells everyone what happened, angering Anisha, who then puts a curse on him. She declares that he will never be happy in love, and that every girl he dates will break up with him and marry the next man they meet. Before leaving, she takes some of Charlie's hair with her. Years later, Charlie is a dentist in a relationship with Carol. One day, during a romantic moment on the beach, Carol tells Charlie she loves him, but he doesn't say it back. This makes Carol very angry, and she breaks up with him. Afterward, Charlie talks to his best friend Stuart, now a plastic surgeon. Charlie explains that he couldn't say, "I love you" back, because he didn't feel the same way. Charlie and Stuart work in the same building and often ride the elevator together, discussing their lives. They talk about attending Katie's wedding, one of Charlie's ex-girlfriends, who married a heart surgeon after they broke up. One day, the receptionist, Reba, sees Charlie in the hallway and tells him he's late because many patients are waiting for him. Charlie and Stuart then head to Katie's wedding. The next day, hoping to meet new women, Charlie listens to Katie's speech at her wedding. She makes a toast to her ex-boyfriend, calling him her lucky charm because she found her true love after dating him. This confuses Charlie, who overhears women at his table whispering, making him even more puzzled. Suddenly, he sees a beautiful woman named Cam approaching, but she accidentally bumps into a waiter, spilling a drink on her clothes. Charlie quickly grabs a napkin and gives it to her. Cam introduces herself as Katie's college friend, and Charlie mentions he dated the bride. They start talking about their jobs, with Cam revealing she works with penguins. When Charlie mentions he's a dentist, she excitedly takes his business card, almost flipping the table and spilling a drink on his pants. Cam tries to help clean up, but Stuart steps in to introduce himself, though Cam isn't interested in him. Later, Katie asks Charlie about Carol, another guest at the wedding. He sees Carol kissing someone else and feels awkward. The bride tells Charlie she hopes he finds true love, then accidentally throws the bouquet, which hits a dove and lands in Carol's hands. The next day, Charlie arrives at his clinic to find many attractive women waiting for him. He discovers that someone posted his profile on a dating website, claiming he's a lucky charm because the women he dated found their soulmates after being with him. Confused by all the sudden attention, Charlie tells Stuart about it. As they walk, they see Carol trying on a wedding dress in a bridal store. She exits the store and reveals she's engaged, thanking Charlie for being her lucky charm. That night, Charlie receives multiple voice messages from women interested in meeting up with him. Meanwhile, at the Marine Mammal Park, Cam feeds the penguins and calls for her brother Joe, inviting him to go home. When Joe approaches with another pail of fish, Cam smells that he has been using illegal substances again. She warns him to stop or risk getting fired. When Joe takes out a skull pipe from his pocket, Cam, disappointed, throws a fish at him. However, he only tosses it back, causing her to lose her balance and almost fall into the water. Unfortunately, a penguin notices she's carrying a pail of fish, triggering the hungry bird to slide towards her. As a result, Cam chips her tooth on the edge of a fake ice boulder before falling into the water. Meanwhile, Charlie meets a woman for a date. Just as they are about to drive off, she insists they kiss, calling him a lucky charm. Confused, Charlie asks what she means. The woman explains that he has a magic that helps women find their true love after they sleep with him. Finding this ridiculous, Charlie tells her he doesn't want to take advantage of her, but she remains hopeful that he is her key to finding the one. Their moment is interrupted when Cam calls Charlie about her dental emergency. 20 minutes later, Cam is at the clinic getting her tooth fixed. While there, she notices a photo on the wall of Charlie holding a giant toothbrush, surrounded by children brushing their teeth. Charlie shares that he travels to Guatemala annually to aid impoverished villages. Cam smiles, commending his mission. As she stands up, she accidentally hits her head on the operatory light, causing her hand to flip the dental tool tray, sending sharp tools flying toward Charlie's back. She promptly apologizes and suggests buying him a new shirt, but he declines and proposes they have dinner together. Cam refuses to go out with him and attempts to pay, but he doesn't accept the money. After leaving the clinic, Charlie heads to the elevator. When it opens, Cam is there, asking for help because her car won't start. In the parking lot, Charlie assists in jumping her car, but she starts the vehicle too early, causing a shock that sends Charlie flying to the ground. However, just as Cam is about to enter her car, she realizes the door is locked and her keys are inside. The dentist offers her a ride home so she can retrieve her spare keys. On the road, Charlie notices that Cam experiences a lot of misfortunes. She reveals that her brother calls her Murphy, based on Murphy's Law, which states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. She then shows her broken thumb and discloses that she has had a total of 12 broken bones. When they arrive at Cam's house, she panics upon realizing that her house keys are also inside the car left in the parking lot. As a solution, she gets a rock and breaks her door's window to open it from the inside. Returning to the parking lot, Cam expresses her gratitude to Charlie for helping her all night. She insists on paying for the dental service, but he refuses, suggesting they have dinner instead. However, she rejects him again, explaining that she's not emotionally available for a date. When Charlie arrives home, he is shocked to find Reba on his couch. She tells him that she knows he's a lucky charm, as stated on his profile on a dating site. She then removes her coat, revealing provocative clothing underneath. Desperate to meet her soulmate, Reba coerces him into doing the deed. Initially, Charlie is hesitant, but later gives in to her request. The next day, while playing frisbee in the park, Charlie shares what happened between him and the receptionist with Stuart, who finds it disgusting. The plastic surgeon then advises him to use his lucky charm effect to date many attractive women, emphasizing that one of them might be his soulmate. Charlie takes his friend's advice, and soon all the women he sleeps with find their true love, even receiving invitations to their weddings. One day, while watching TV with Stuart, Charlie complains that none of the women he slept with wanted to be with him. He then changes the channel and sees penguins, which reminds him of Cam, making him think she might be the one for him. Charlie immediately deletes all the messages from women in his voicemail. Shortly after, he goes to the marine mammal park and witnesses Cam, the penguin specialist, at work as she shares information with the audience. Cam sees Charlie in the crowd and smiles. After her speech, Charlie asks her about the real reason she doesn't want to go out with him, but she refuses to answer and asks him to leave. Suddenly, Joe arrives and reveals to Charlie that his sister has been talking about him, describing him as funny and good-looking. Hearing this, Charlie becomes more confused about why Cam doesn't want to go out with him. Later, a girl approaches Cam to ask about penguins. After her first question, Charlie asks the girl to help him find out why Cam doesn't want to go out with him. Joe then interjects, saying that his sister would love to date Charlie. Cam shushes Joe and sends him away. She then faces Charlie and reveals that she doesn't see dating as a sport like he does. Despite this, Charlie doesn't give up on winning her heart, prompting her to finally agree to go out with him. However, she asserts that it will only be a friendly date, since she's already interested in Howard Blaine, the author of a book about penguins. That night, Cam wears a beautiful white dress on their date. As they get to know each other more, Cam expresses her fascination with penguins and their monogamous nature. Male penguins find the smoothest pebbles and gift them to their love interests, sticking with them throughout their lives. However, she runs into a pole while walking, causing her to fall to the ground. Charlie checks on her, kisses her forehead, and then moves in for a kiss on her lips. He playfully teases her for not being a good kisser, prompting Cam to stand up and chase after him. The next day, Charlie tells Stuart that he thinks Cam is the one for him. However, his best friend hesitates to support him because Charlie would be giving up his promiscuous lifestyle for the woman. On their third date, Cam receives a gift from Charlie. When she opens it and finds a Band-Aid, they laugh together. She then asks about him being a woman's lucky charm, but he explains that someone else spread that news about him. When he asks if she believes it, Cam scoffs, stating that people just want to accept what they want to think. That night, while spending a romantic time together, Charlie interrupts their moment to answer his phone. The caller is Stuart, who informs his best friend that he called Charlie's exes and learned that all of them are married. This means that Charlie being a lucky charm is accurate, and if he sleeps with Cam, she'll only end up with another man. Hearing this, Charlie decides not to go further with Cam, lying that he must go to the clinic to treat some children. The next day, Charlie meets up with Stuart at a resort to put the curse to the test. The dentist targets a woman named Eleanor, whom he thinks is unlikely to get married. He spends a romantic night with her, and then patiently waits for the result. Meanwhile, Cam informs her brother that her date hasn't called her back. Shortly after, her phone rings. It's Charlie, explaining that he was sick and unable to leave bed. He suggests they do a video call instead, and she agrees. Over the following days, they talk on the phone, deepening their connection. Eventually, Charlie wears a fake ring to give the impression to other women that he's married. One afternoon, the dentist asks Stuart to check if Eleanor has found her soulmate. The plastic surgeon approaches the woman and speaks with her. That night, Charlie talks to Cam on the phone, and she questions if he's avoiding seeing her. He explains that he desperately wants to but can't due to his illness. In an attempt to share a romantic moment, she sends him a photo of her chest, but he immediately closes his eyes and says goodbye. Suddenly, Stuart calls to inform Charlie that he went out with Eleanor and that she is not married, indicating that the curse is untrue. Excited upon hearing this, Charlie rushes to Cam's house to finally be with her. The following day, Charlie gets up and heads to the kitchen to prepare coffee for Cam. However, when he turns on the television, he sees Eleanor on the news, learning that she has finally found her soulmate. Furious, the dentist immediately calls Stuart, who reveals he never really asked Eleanor out. To make things worse, Charlie sees Cam's calendar and realizes she is scheduled to see someone named George on Wednesday. He immediately assumes the curse is true, but resolves not to lose the woman he loves. Charlie begins making grand romantic gestures for Cam. He prepares breakfast in bed for her and insists on accompanying her to work. He also sets a date with her on Wednesday night, attempting to prevent her from meeting another guy. The next day, the penguin specialist goes to work and finds the room filled with flowers and heart balloons. Then she hears a knock on the door. When she opens it, a quartet sings for her and presents her with a gift, revealing Charlie wearing a penguin costume. However, Cam finds the grand romantic gestures very strange. She asserts she's working, prompting the singers and the dentist to leave. After her shift, Cam heads to the parking lot only to find her car decorated. Charlie then invites her to a sushi place, but the overwhelmed Cam requests that he leave her alone and give her space. Desperate, Charlie enlists Stuart's help to change his appearance so that he will be the next guy Cam dates, and therefore the man she marries. However, the plastic surgeon clarifies that his expertise is more on chest enhancement and advises his friend to let go of the woman. The dentist doesn't take his friend's suggestion and goes to the marine mammal park to propose to Cam, only to see her with George. Charlie then grabs an inflatable penguin and hits the guy with it. Cam witnesses this and calls him out for his behavior. He gets inside the penguin area to inform her that George is a jerk but slips and falls into the water, causing the swimming creatures to bite him before the guards take him out. Charlie explains his intention to Cam, who clarifies that George is her hairdresser before breaking up with him. Heartbroken, the dentist sits in a public area while it's raining. Reba passes by and notices him. She is thankful because she finally met someone. While the receptionist talks, Charlie gets distracted when a trash man drops a bottle. As it spins, he remembers Anisha, the goth girl who hexed him. He realizes what she said came true. He quickly asks Stuart for help to find her and break the spell. Meanwhile, Joe tells Cam she reacted harshly to Charlie and should call him back. He explains that Charlie did crazy things because he loved her. Charlie goes to Anisha's place and reminds her she hexed him. He asks her to undo the spell. At first, she refuses but lets him in after he pulls down his pants. Anisha says she doesn't remember what she did when they were kids, but advises him to let Cam go. Charlie accepts he's not meant to be with Cam, but wants her to be with a good guy. He sets her up with Howard Blaine, a penguin specialist. Cam and Howard hit it off. Charlie sees how happy they are together, which breaks his heart but makes him happy for her. Days later, Charlie plays a video game. Stuart arrives and announces his marriage to Laura. She tells Charlie that Cam is leaving for Antarctica with a penguin expert. Stuart expects Charlie to go after her, but he refuses. Stuart convinces him to change his mind. Charlie goes to the airport, buys a ticket, and boards the plane. He finds Cam and confesses his love for her. She clarifies that Howard is married to someone else, which relieves Charlie. He says he only cares about what's important now. Before the plane takes off, he gives her a pebble, which male penguins give to females during courtship. Then he exits the plane. Cam appreciates the gesture and calls him back. They walk towards each other and kiss passionately. 1 year later, Charlie and Cam are in Antarctica, surrounded by the beautiful southern lights and penguins. Their tongues get stuck as they kiss in the freezing temperature. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.